Oh god, that one is on my tail. Howdy y'all, Master Sergeant Porkins here, and we are back to playing 7 Days to Die War of the Walkers. Where we last left off, we had gathered a bunch of food from the pirate ship. We pillaged that and got everything that we needed. I mean, we were legitly starving. Well, now what we're going to do here is we need to get stuff prepared for any sort of defenses. While this house that we have is decent, it is not really built to last. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to rebuild everything, build it up even stronger, and also we're going to go through and show you how to do the basics of traps. Basic, not only just traps, but also defensive measures too, to keep not only hordes from coming in, but also random wanderers and stuff. Alright, let's get going. It's a little dark out here, but it's not too bad. But yeah, once again, we found a lot of great stuff out of the pirate ship that was nearby. So what we're going to do is, wood right now is going to be the big collection at the moment. We're going to gather as much wood as we possibly can. And with wood, what we're going to do is we're going to build a couple of different types of spikes. Not to mention, we are also going to be building some barbed wire. And we do have enough normal iron for barbed wire. And there's going to be a couple different styles of barbed wire. I'm going to do some that's going to be on the ground. I'm also going to be doing some that's also in kind of a your typical palisade style, where it's kind of up on a framework, and if they wander into it, it's more of a barbed wire fence than anything else. This house that I found is actually a pretty decent house. It's a good place to build, especially if you're the type of person that doesn't like to build or kind of feel more of the realistic style of finding a building and then customizing it to your own ability and to your own likeness. I mean, as much as some of the great builds that are out there that people put together, I've always found to take that combat engineer stance. I look at something, see what I can do to improve it, and then go upon that. We're going to pull up, we're going to go to our trap bar over here. We're going to make a couple different things. We're going to make some standard wood spikes. Wood spikes work very well. And then, of course, while those are crafting, we're going to grab more wood. We're going to also build we're also going to build these wider spikes too. And I'm going to show you how to use those efficiently and effectively to where you don't have problems. And that's something that's going to be touching on. Also, if we can, we're going to try to get our forge going as well. I know it's day 3. We haven't gotten a forge yet. It was mostly, we were trying to scavenge to try to get what we can. And I lucked out and found that pirate ship POI. Now, there's a big reason why I don't want to go into the pirate ship. For one, just for one person, it's really massive, and 2, it feels like it's cheating. I mean, there's a difference between giving yourself the edge and giving yourself the edge to the point where it no longer makes it fun. And the pirate ship, it looks like it's wood, but it's actually made out of reinforced concrete. And not to mention, there's also a cement mixer in there and a few other things that I kind of feel like it would be robbing me of a good, genuine experience of trying to survive. Oh man, I just hope they don't. I've been having these zombies just pop up out of nowhere. Like I'll sit there be chopping. I'll hear something. Sounds like shuffling in the grass. And sure enough, it'll come up and just maul my piggity ass. As we get the rest of this wood going. Alright. Ooh, bird nest. What do we have here? Oh, nah, nothing. Alright. Also get these little trees, too. They're really nice to kind of get them out of the way. Not to mention, I really like this area, too, for a lot of the equipment that's around it. You know, out of everything, I totally forgot to make a pick. I need to make a pickaxe and a couple other things. We'll get that. We're going to go around. Yeah, I need to wait till I get that pickaxe made. There we go. We're going to go around. We're going to clear the area just to make sure that we have nothing that's going to be obstructing our build. Not to mention, we are going to be upgrading the wood that's around this base too. It is, when you see it in this fried burnt, it is basically below building. It's like same strength as a frame almost. And it feels like it's not going to do anything, because it isn't going to do anything. It's actually, they're going to tear through that so quickly. So we'll build as we go. And now we will be putting wooden spikes up against these as we go along. But as we do go along and make things and do progress, we'll be using the iron for the wooden blocks to be able to upgrade it. And there's a couple different paths. You can do cobblestone and make your way all the way up through that. Or you can go the wood route, which requires iron to fix things and upgrade stuff, and then eventually you'll get to concrete. Both paths always lead to concrete. I can't remember which one costs more to do, but it's however your own feelings are. If you think that you can upgrade, one quicker, go for it. If you think you can, if this path seems to be good for you, either way, it's all what you want to do. And that's one of the reasons why I like 7 Days to Die. It gives you that freedom to craft how you want to, and to kind of upgrade it. Not to mention, I always feel like making concrete, it is kind of slow, but I feel that, if you've ever worked pouring concrete or doing anything like that, you know that it's very time consuming. Concrete is definitely not something that's overnight. And I do like the fact that they have the ability where the concrete is wet and it's nowhere near as strong as until it dries out. This area hasn't had too many wanderers come into it, but I'm pretty grateful for that. I think I've kind of cleared them out where it didn't really necessarily despawn them, but I haven't seen a whole bunch come back. But no, my luck, as soon as I say that, there's one that's going to jump out and maul me and probably kill me. As it always does, and it should. There's a reason why this game should terrorize you for as long as you play it. I think that's why I keep coming back to it. It's one of the few games that actually scares me the way horror goes. I try to play other horror games, and it just doesn't really work out for me. I get bored. I'm like, how can you get bored of that? Oh, I get bored of it. I do. But this, for some odd reason, always keeps me on edge. Always coming back to it. Now I'll fix the porch too and do the upgrades on that and get around it. But we already have the base. I'll do one more up around it, and I'll do that another time. But I just want to show you a couple of different stuff that we can put up and go from there. Alright, these are your standard wooden spikes. While they're not the strongest in the world, they can be repaired. But they are very deadly. That's the biggest offense it has. They do quite a bit of damage. Usually one of those by itself, if a zombie keeps crawling over it and wounds itself, usually one of these tend to take out one zombie. Even if a zombie kind of hangs itself up onto it, it'll tend to destroy limbs, get it to either down to like a crippled status, or it does some really good things. It really does. I think what I'm going to do here is, I think I'm going to take this part of it out. It's not going to cause anything. It's not like a load-bearing poster in this damn game. Which, if you've played this game long enough, or if you're new to this game, you'll know that there will be certain things you can collapse an entire building and then have something like a poster or a single wall, like a shingle or something like that, like a little defensive thing for the window. It will just completely hold up the entire building and you've just destroyed it. As soon as you drop it, everything goes. So while the physics can be a little bit wonky, it kind of writes itself. It's still good. It's still fun. All right, yep. I'm gonna have to do the same thing over here too, because I kind of wanted to have it right up against the wall. And I'll eventually make more of these, and then I'm gonna show you a couple tricks too on how to protect doorways and make sure that when you're doing the doorways and stuff, you don't end up where you have to do a little bit of dodging, but the zombies can't. They're not as agile as you are. And I think that's a great thing in this game, that the zombies aren't as agile, even the fast ones. And so we'll put a couple right there. We'll put a couple right here. Now what I want to do is I want to show you something real interesting. Even if you just... Here, let's pick this out of the way, because I don't want this to be in the way when we do this. Even though it would actually be a really good piece of defense. I need it more for the resources than anything else. So just get this chopped out of the way, and I'm going to show you something really simple that you can use to make, and just kind of keep zombies at bay while... It takes a little bit of practice. You can't just like run into your house back and forth anymore. So it does take a little bit of skill to get in there, but not much. It's really not much. It's in a way I'm almost over exaggerating, but here I'll show you some more. All right. And then for right now, we'll just do some yard cleaning. Hank could be upset if I didn't clean the yard. Well, that fat son of a bitch better get out there and start mowing that lawn. I'll tell you what. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this. So put a couple right here. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing, I put like maybe like one right here, and one like this. Now, the reason that I do this is, like, yeah, you can walk through. See, I ran into it myself, but yeah, it takes a little bit of like navigation. You can't go in there fast anymore, but it's a good thing that you can't go in there fast, but zombies can't really zig as good as you can. They can't zag. So the next thing you know, you end up kind of wandering through here, and then the zombies get stuck on it. So it's actually it's good to do it like this. Say, for instance, on a horde night, if you're going to be holed up inside of a house, do it kind of like this, where they have to come in and they turn, but they don't turn like really sharp. They can't. So they always come in at like an angle or like a gradient, and they'll end up just hanging themselves up on it, which make it not only do they take damage, but it'll also, you know, set them up. It'll slow them down where you can kind of get in and get the kill. And see, you can just go in there, fix it. It only takes a little bit to do so. All right. I don't know why it's asking me to do that, but all right. Oh, I know why, because that's not my back door, I don't think. That was the door that was originally on the house. All right. So I'm going to have to actually gather some more wood. Gather a few bits and pieces. Get some things going there. All right. Scrap a few of these trees out here in the front. I'm going to have to build a couple of front doors. Hopefully in Alpha 17 that they allow you to do that, where if you get a door open or if it's unlocked, that you can lock it if you need to. It becomes something that you don't have to build, and then you can just kind of go from there. Because sometimes it gets to be an annoyance where you have to chop down a door, put it up on your own, and lock it. But I can also see they probably did that maybe due to griefing. Because I can see with, like, on a multiplayer server, especially if it's open to the public, that somebody can go and lock a door and then they can't open it because it's locked. But I do like the fact that that you can do, you know, like a 4-digit key to get in. So maybe you can do that. I also do like the fact that there's no physical keys in this game. That was one thing that bothered me about games like Rust, that you had a physical key to get in, because if for some way, shape, or form that you happen to be, if the key was on your body and you were laying out in the open, heaven forbid, you'd end up getting it taken away from you. Alright, we're going to take down this last tree. I'm going to chop down both of those doors, make a good door. Then I'm going to take some of the iron, the basic iron, I'm going to upgrade those doors as well to kind of make them a little stronger. I also did find some forged iron inside the pirate ship that I may be able to change the doors to an actual forged iron door. I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and just I'll just take down the door as itself, build a standard wooden door, put it up. And this will, I can, you know, build a door, put it up there, and then at least upgrade it from there. Yeah, it's going to waste a little bit more resources, but if I don't have the skill to actually build it, I don't have the skill to actually build it straight away. Alright, let's do the door placement properly. Not a great looking door, but we'll get it all put together. So now we do have an iron door. It took a little bit of standard iron and everything else. It's amazing that I can upgrade it to it, but I don't necessarily know the skill, and I think that's a builder class ordeal. All right, there we go. That's a pretty solid door. I'm hoping that in Alpha 17 that when you do craft doors, it necessarily doesn't have to look like this. It can look like the reinforced doors that you see on different buildings that you come across and everything. All right, how much wood do we have? Okay, so we have a little bit of wood. All right, now I'm going to build a couple of the other type of spikes, and I'm going to show you something really interesting about these. Now, these other type of spikes are pretty cool. They are wood log spikes, and we're going to build 4 of them, and I'm going to show you a nifty little trick. Now, these wood log spikes, they do lower damage than these other type of spikes, but they're very, very tough to break, and the only way they can be broken is if they're attacked. Now, having these things being attacked, it takes a lot of damage. You can upgrade them all the way up to, I've seen steel that you can use it, and they look very vicious. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you since we've built these new ones. But the wood spikes, what happens is when they get up onto them, it raises them up one level, and since they're pointy, they kind of bob up and down while they're on them. Here, I'm going to show you guys something really interesting that really you can still do damage with them. I don't know if it's an oversight that the Fun Pimps forgot about, or if it was intentional. But say, for instance, you don't want them to bob up and down. It does slow them down. It will cause zombies to lose their limbs. They'll crawl over, their legs will get blown off or ripped off from it. And it's very cool that it does that. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show something that works really well. Now, I like to do this, especially if you get a large wave of them, and you know they're going to come from one direction. So what you do is, instead of setting them down like this, they'll still bob up and down. One of the best things you can do is if you turn them. Now, if you stick them like this, what happens is that they no longer bob up and down when they run across them. I'm going to see if I can trick a zombie to come over here and see if I can get them to walk across it. We'll see if we can find something. So give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to chop down some wood. I'm going to see if I can find a zombie and bring him back to kind of show you. Alrighty, I seem to have found a more than willing participant. So come on, Mr. Stompy, let's go over here. Let's test this out. Show everybody what you got. Come on. You know you want it. I taste delicious. Yeah, he agrees with me. Alright, let's go over here. Kind of wander around. I think it's back over here in this direction. But yeah, setting up spikes in this type of pit configuration tends to work really well. I've had great success with it in the past. So what I'll do is go like this. We can get him to kind of follow over it. Walk straight ahead. Wait a moment. I think they may have changed something here. Nope. He's taking damage. There we go. I thought he wasn't taking any damage at all, so it's very subtle. But if you've noticed, he started limping. He wasn't moving as fast as he was. And he lost one of his legs, which right there will immobilize. You notice it is taking a little bit of damage as it's crawling over. But these are a good way to, if you build like a lot of them. It's used to more, not so much to kill them, but to at least slow them down. And if you can slow them down, it gives you either one, a good chance to get away, or two, a better chance to attack them properly. It's usually when they tend to be on the ground like this and they're not as mobile. They tend to do a lot of, your survival rate tends to go up. It looks like he's actually taking damage, not only taking damage, but it's also doing damage to the spikes. Seems to be something new. I wonder if that's because of this particular mod. I know that in vanilla, they don't seem to damage like this. But either way, we're going to play a little ring around the Rosie right here and kind of let him See if he can wear himself out or maybe do a bit more damage to him. See if we can actually get him to die. He's so happy. He's just hungry. He just wants something tasty. Just wants to taste the long pork. Oh, there you go. I touched it myself. So now you know they're doing damage. But if you notice, like, if I would have had the normal spikes just up, he would have been bouncing up and down, making it a very hard target, especially if somebody likes to use long-range weapons and trying to get hit. See, there you go. And he finally, over time, he finally died. Did quite a bit of damage, too. I mean, those spikes are also very easy to repair, and they don't take much resources to repair. That's weird. Oh, I don't have enough wood. Ha! Didn't realize that I had used all my wood for that. But as you can clearly see, yeah, it does do damage. Oh, he had some painkillers on him. Good. All right. And since it was on that, the gore block disappeared completely. Since it, when they're on spikes, anytime you have a gore block after it despawns, it will just completely annihilate it. And you got to make sure you get all that before it turns into a gore block. Alrighty, so what I'll do is I'm going to take the rest of the time. I'm going to upgrade this place, and we'll end up, fast forward to the next episode. We're going to be building a brand new forge. We need to get that going because we need to start doing a lot of the higher end stuff, including tools, weaponry, not to mention things to fortify this house a little bit more because we got to get ready for the first Horde night. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, give that like and subscribe button some help. And I'll see you all in the next battlefield. Deuces!